going on and shoeing the horse requires a little bit extra gear. You need a buffer, and this is a buffer, a clinch cutter and a pritchel, and it's a standard thing that most people use. I find that even there I can modify that a little bit more and make something like this, which is got a longer blade on it, and it will allow me to cut 2 or 3 nails with very easily just rolling it past the clinches and hitting it. And once again I use the composite hammer on that to unclinch the nails with. You can build it left-handed or right-handed depending on the curve of the blade to go around the hoof, and it just speeds up the process of taking a shoe off or unclinching the shoe. This is called a shoe puller and spreader, and you can see it's got little grips on the side here, and that's for spreading the heels of the shoe out sometimes if they happen to move in. But that's an essential part of the item for lifting the shoe off the hoof. Clinching tongs. These are what we call a low clinch tong for clinching nails that are low, which we shouldn't have anyway. But there's many different varieties of these, and they're to be used very, very sparingly if we're not going to damage the horse's hoof. I prefer to hammer clinch with a normal clinching block. Clinching block fitted like that into your hand as you're hitting the nail to bend those clinches up is a far better idea. And then of course it goes flat on the bottom of the hoof when we're setting those clinches down. If we're talking about hammers, a hammer is a very specific item, and a lot of the cheaper hammers will not help you nail the hoof properly. But the setup of a good hammer should be this, that when the face of it is flat, the tip of the handle should be touching the level surface, so that as you're nailing, you're dropping this hand down, it just seems to be that it's in that position and your nails will go in straight. A lot of the cheaper hammers, the face on them is set up like that. So when you drop your handle down, as you're hammering normally, you'll just bend all the nails forward. So that face of the hammer is very, very important. The weight of the hammer depends on your strength, what you need. That claw there is very important for ringing the nails off. As you can see in here, I use 2 different types of hammers. This is a very light hammer with a long beak, but it's still got a very short claw on it. And another addition to this that I use is a little magnet in the handle of the hammer. If I happen to drop a nail, I can pick that nail up. If I drop any part of a nail on the floor, the magnet will help pick it up. I've got the magnet set up in all of my hammer handles for that reason, that it makes it a whole lot more quick and easy. You can see how strong that magnet is. Another addition is a nail puller. With all of these shoes, especially the fullered shoes, if you just need to take one nail out to replace it or shift it, it's a pair of nail pullers there. For a professional farrier or a person trying to find problems in a horse's hoof is a pair of tong testers. And these go around the hoof. You'll see the vet using them, but the farrier should have one of these in his box too, to go around the hoof and pressure test for a sore spot. A good addition is your nail cutter. If you ever want to cut your clinches off a bit shorter, that's a very handy little piece of gear to have in your box as well. Now, as far as all of this goes, you can either use a tool roll on the ground where all your tools just slip into it. I find that's a bit untidy and very labour intensive, bending right down to pick up your tools. Or you can use a box like this where it's got compartments in it, it's made out of plywood, it's not heavy, and it'll hold all your tools in an upright position, thus. All of these tools fit where they should fit. All of these things make life very, very easy. There's a magnet on the side there, which you can use to hold part of your tool, or you can stick your nails to it. Some people have these magnets placed on their apron, and that's a good idea, but it also will hold your tools. Now when I'm ringing these nails off, I don't drop them on the ground, I drop them inside the box. Inside the box I've got a magnet, and the magnet rolls around. As you'll see, it's a round magnet, and it rolls around in the box all day long and picks up these nails. So at the end of the day, all I need to do is to pick that up, take it to the bin and empty it out. So it fits inside the box. A good first aid kit is very essential in your work vehicle or in your workshop. An apron. Don't try and shoe horses or trim horses' feet without the protection of an apron. You're too much at risk in through here, and especially with shoeing. If you're putting nails into the horse's hoof and a horse does happen to pull away as the nail's coming through, up on the inside of your leg you've got your femoral artery, and if a nail ever happens to pierce that, you're on very limited time as far as you're getting first aid. So an apron, a good apron, is a very, very essential part of that. This is pretty well a standard available apron. I've modified it a little bit, and it's got very easy to strap on. It's got leg straps down here, wraps around the leg, and protects you from any injuries in these vital parts. My knives all go in these pockets. The knives that I use fit in there. So wherever I'm working, I've got access to a knife for convenience.